Axelar is one of the most exciting bridging solutions in the crypto industry. But what makes Axelar so unique? How does bridging on Axelar work? What is the AXL token all about, and what will happen should IBC become the dominant communication standard for blockchains? This is what I will explain to you in today's episode. But before I forget, please make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and give this video a like. This triggers the YouTube algorithm and leads to an AXL pump on the other hand. And now let us dive deeper into Axelar. The crypto industry has become very prosperous throughout 2021. Many layer 1s such as Avalanche, Solana, BSC or Terra launched and became big. These layer 1s offered a higher level of scalability compared to Ethereum. These blockchains were able to develop their native DeFi ecosystems, became adopted and ate a massive part of Ethereum's market share. So, 2021 was all about providing more scalable alternatives to Ethereum. But how can we actually connect all of these chains with each other? How can I bring my assets from, for example, Avalanche to Terra? This is not so easy, and so far, projects were extremely focused on interoperability in 2022. Scalable solutions are here, and now we are trying to make them interoperable. Of course, one solution is IBC. IBC is a Cosmos native communication protocol that allows blockchains to communicate with each other seamlessly. However, most blockchains in today's crypto industry do not use IBC yet. And besides, it's not so easy for every blockchain to enable IBC. Because of this problem, many crypto projects are using so-called token bridges. As the name suggests, these bridges help users to send their funds or other data from one chain to another destination chain. However, many bridges have inevitable trade-offs. First of all, most bridges are highly centralized. Let's pretend that Terra would not have IBC enabled yet, and you want to bridge your UST from Terra to Osmosis. You would deposit UST in a Luna UST pool and get an equivalent amount of UST out of an Osmo UST pool. Most of the time, this process is controlled by a company or entity. It basically takes your money out of the Luna UST pool and gives you the equivalent amount out of the Osmo UST pool. The centralized party earns its money through a small fee that you have to pay and acts as a middleman between the two networks. The problem is that you first have to trust the entity behind this bridge. I mean, the entity could run away with your funds that you wanted to bridge. Another problem is that these bridges tend to be very slow as well. If the pool on your destination chain hasn't enough liquidity, you can wait up to a couple of days until your funds finally arrive on the destination chain. This is especially bad for arbitrage traders that want to realize an arbitrage opportunity in a network within a very short period of time. Another popular way of bridging assets between two ecosystems is via smart contracts. It works very similar to IBC. You lock your tokens in a smart contract on one chain and get a representation of it on the destination chain. The problem with this type of bridging is that these smart contracts could get hacked and exploited. And this is something that has happened several times already. All in all, the crypto industry has become very prosperous in 2021. However, the space finds it hard to connect the different networks. Not every chain finds it easy to enable IBC, and today's bridging technology is usually centralized and slow. This is where Axelar comes into play. Axelar is its own blockchain and wants to bootstrap cross-chain communication. It is very important to mention that Axelar is not a bridge only. Yes, Axelar helps you to bridge your tokens between different networks. Still, it also provides APIs for developers to connect to the Axelar network to make their applications interoperable with the broader crypto space. Let's say you have built a DeFi protocol and use Axelar's APIs. Your application helps users to find the best stablecoin pools in the space. The user could tell your application that he is looking for a USDT/USDC pool. Because your application uses Axelar's APIs, it is highly interoperable. Therefore, users could seek attractive pools all over the crypto industry and access them via your protocol. Your protocol would be able to bridge assets to various layer 1s like Avalanche, Near, or a Cosmos blockchain. The possibilities are endless. We will dive deeper into how Axelar makes this high level of interoperability possible in a minute. Axelar also supports IBC. This is why Axelar is interoperable with the rest of the Cosmos ecosystem. Axelar connects to non-IBC enabled chains via their in-house bridging technology. So, IBC is basically a feature that Axelar uses to connect with Cosmos chains. You can imagine IBC and Axelar as airports. While IBC is one large airport that offers you non-stop flights to the big airports in the world like Amsterdam, New York, Frankfurt and Tokyo, Axelar is an airport that also offers you direct flights to small cities somewhere in Africa or South America. That said, Axelar acts as a network in the middle of the crypto industry and helps users and applications bridge assets between them, regardless of whether one of these networks is IBC enabled. To get a first broad overview, Axelar is a bridge on the one hand. It helps users bridge their assets from one chain to a destination chain. On the other hand, Axelar is a blockchain with a validator set and developers can build interoperable dApps by using Axelar's APIs. Axelar's goal is to establish more interoperability in the space and helps applications connect to all kinds of networks. Now let us dive deeper into the tech. So how does Axelar make all of this possible? When bridging your assets via Axelar, your assets will be sent through a gateway smart contract. A set of validators will monitor this event. The validators request the gateway smart contract to read the transaction. Then the validators use a multi-party consensus protocol to agree upon the state of the transfer. Upon agreement, the validators then execute a write request to the gateway contract for the destination chain to transfer the funds. So, on a very high level, Axelar's validator set validates your transaction when sending your assets from one chain to another. That said, Axelar is not a centralized entity that has control over your assets. Several validators are in charge of validating cross-chain transactions. As already mentioned, not all blockchains are IBC enabled yet, and some never will be. This is why Axelar provides the GCP protocol. The GCP protocol is being used in addition to IBC and is a general message passing protocol. It allows users to bridge all kinds of data from one network to another network, like cryptocurrencies, NFTs, messages, etc. This also answers the question of what would happen with Axelar when IBC becomes a dominant communication standard in the crypto industry. Because at the end of the day, not every blockchain will enable IBC. And this is where Axelar's GCP protocol comes into play. As you can see, interoperability in crypto is not a zero-sum game. Before wrapping this episode up, let us talk about the tokenomics of Axelar. Axelar's native cryptocurrency is called AXL. As I mentioned earlier, validators validate your transaction when bridging your assets from one blockchain to another via Axelar. These validators stay AXL. They get rewarded when staking the AXL token, but they would also get slashed if they try to betray the network. For example, if a validator tries to run away with your funds, he gets slashed. Besides, AXL is also the staking token for the entire chain. When staking AXL, you help secure the chain. Besides, AXL is being used to incentivize developers to use Axelar's APIs to build cross-chain capabilities into their applications. Finally, AXL represents a tool for governance. AXL holders will have the ability to use their tokens to vote on network changes. You have to know that the AXL token is not on the free market as of now. Only the validators have AXL to validate cross-chain transactions, but you will be able to buy AXL on the free market very soon. We at DeFiTimes are big fans of Axelar. Axelar will definitely help to make the crypto industry more interoperable. Besides, their bridging technology is, besides IBC, one of the safest and most decentralized technologies in the crypto industry right now. Even if IBC became the most dominant communication standard in the space one day, that would not mean that there's no space for Axelar anymore. Moreover, I believe that Axelar is one of the projects that unleash the true potential of IBC by acting as an intermediary between IBC-enabled chains and non-IBC-enabled chains. The native cryptocurrency of Axelar, AXL, has some very strong tokenomics. It is primarily used for staking and to ensure decentralization. This is why I will add AXL to my portfolio as soon as the token is on the free market. However, please note as always that we at DeFiTimes are no financial advisors. None of our statements represents financial advice. All content is strictly for informational purposes only. But now let us know what you think of Axelar. Are you bullish on AXL? Comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and give this video a like if you want to see AXL pumping. And with that being said, I hope I will see you on Wednesday for another episode of This Week in Cosmos.